Everyone is going crazy over Jujutsu Kaisen's sequel because it looks like Sukuna has actually reincarnated. And on top of that, a brand new Six Eyes user could appear.
What did he say?
In chapter 271.5, Sukuna chose to go north before his death, and now, 68 years later, the question arises if his soul has returned. A lot of you mentioned this in the comments of our last video, so let's break it all down. In chapter 236, we learn the direction a sorcerer can take after their death. If you want to become a new version of yourself, go north, and in Buddhism, that represents rebirth. Remember, Yuji's domain expansion wasn't about beating Sukuna, it was about forcing him to live a normal life. Yuji literally asked him, let's try one more time, not by cursing someone, but existing alongside them. And guess what the storyline is of the sequel? It's about coexisting with another race, the Sumerians, where Maru, Sugiri, and Yuka are trying to hit the hearts of the people to stop a literal war. Like, we can't forget that for the first time in 1,000 years, Sukuna accepted Yuji's lesson. His afterlife reunion with Urame shows he finally understood love and companionship, that indeed he had a choice of what role he could have played, something Yuji had been trying to teach him all along. That's why in chapter 271, a ray of light shines on his finger as he dies. We know reincarnation is real in Jujutsu Kaisen because it's been confirmed multiple times. Even for cursed spirits, Jogo stated in chapter 116 that when a curse dies, they return to the earth and are eventually reborn. Then there's the whole idea of Six Eyes users always coming back when the balance of the world is threatened, which Gojo and Kenjaku confirm. And finally, Sukuna said the samsara cycle exists because in chapter 257, it's revealed that his twin brother had the same soul, but he wandered the ages until it landed in Kenjaku's hands when he discovered it. This brother had a good nature reflecting Yuji Itadori, but now 68 years later, with Maru being the gentle twin tied to the alien race, that northward step that Sukuna supposedly took, that suddenly matters. After all, twins have always been a curse symbol in sorcery. Sukuna was born in a world of famine and fear. He devoured his brother in the womb because his mother was hungry. That's why the Heian society branded him a monster from birth. But Yuji proved to Sukuna that his role could have been chosen. He doesn't have to be a cog in the machine, nor the king of curses. Instead, love is what's important, instead of being worthless like he claimed. Jujutsu Kaisen's sequel revealed that Maru, the alien, he also believes this. He states to Yuka that although he struggles with his evil brother, he may have a change of heart someday. He doesn't want to die with regrets and will fight to live up to his ideals by saving his bro. This is a mirror of Sukuna's origin and battle with Yuji, but Maru's generation gives the cycle a second chance. The gentle twin could represent Sukuna finally living the role Yuji offered him, not as a monster but a person capable of love. But that's not all, people. The Sumerian aliens have definitely been inspired by their real life mystery, just like Gege was with Ryom and Sukuna. It's not only their appearances that match the real life counterpart. You see, in my deep research to do this video and serve the community, you lovely people that are gonna smash the like button right now and hit the notification bell, basically I discovered that in Sumerian myth, creation often involved twins or dual forces that shape the fate of humanity, one chaotic, one orderly. A great example would be Gilgamesh and his bro Enkidu. They were created as two halves of one whole. Gilgamesh was a tyrant king and unmatched in strength, so the gods made Enkidu to balance him. Now at first, they clash violently, but instead of destroying each other, their fight ends in mutual respect. Together, they slay monsters and even defy the gods themselves. But eventually, they punish Gilgamesh by killing his brother, and his death shatters him. For the first time, Gilgamesh confronts mortality. He sets out on a journey to escape death. But what he learns is that true legacy isn't in power, it's in human connection and meaning. Because in Jujutsu Kaisen's sequel within chapter 2, we see Maru desperately wanting to avoid war at all costs. However, his twin brother Cross explains that within the Sumerian council, the elders are divided. Some want to fight, whilst others are hesitant. And if humans cannot prove coexistence, the council will side with the radicals who are itching to conquer Earth. That's where Maru's role becomes clear. He's the one trying to bridge peace between the civilizations, and just like Gilgamesh once did, he will defy the king of Sumerians. However, Sukuna might not be the only one making a comeback in the Jujutsu Kaisen sequel. There's also the new Six Eyes user being born. The balance of power is mentioned multiple times in the manga. For example, the Six Eyes and Limitless exist to maintain it. There can never be two Six Eyes alive at once because it would break the system. But Satoru freaking Gojo's birth completely shattered that balance. For the first time in centuries, someone was born with both Limitless and Six Eyes. His overwhelming strength tipped the scales of the Jujutsu world so drastically that nature itself responded, giving rise to stronger cursed spirits to counteract this shift. And this is where the proof that a Six Eyes user needs to exist in the sequel, people. Because in chapter 1, it is revealed that sorcerers over the 68 years have been getting weaker and weaker. But now, Earth has a huge problem. Cursed energy is fading from society, and the balance of the world is shifting again. And history shows Jujutsu has a way of correcting itself. Let's not forget, the Six Eyes just always respawn. Kenjaku even killed a Six Eyes user just a month after they were born, but destiny couldn't be stopped. The Six Eyes reappeared alongside a new star plasma vessel on the very day of the merger, proving that balance in the Jujutsu world always resets itself. And now in the sequel, we see that same principle playing out on a cosmic scale. The Sumerians are labeled as special grade threats, and I'm talking on par with the kind of attack Ryuman Sukuna himself unleashed. They are literally equal to the King of Curses. And in chapter 2, the Sumerian king finally appears, and it's confirmed he's on Sukuna's power level, a special grade so strong he could wipe out an entire nation if he wanted to. However, why do they look identical to Sukuna and Tengen in appearance? Well, Tengen explained that without merging with a compatible vessel, she would drift further and further from humanity, becoming something entirely different. We then learn that the Sumerians don't even have specific genders that humans know of. And this reminds me of exactly what Tengen said about herself when she evolved. She doesn't have a specific gender anymore. This tells us that what Tengen and Sukuna evolved into on Earth, the aliens have as well. Remember that when Kashimo finally sees Sukuna's true body in chapter 237, he doesn't call it monstrous, he actually calls it beautiful. He says this form is the ideal state for Jujutsu, a body literally crafted to optimize curse energy. Every part of Sukuna's evolution was built to maximize sorcery, and this perfectly mirrors the ancient Sumerian king myths, where rulers descended from the heavens with perfect bodies, built to rule for thousands of years. But how do we know the Sumerian king could actually be evil? Well, in chapter 1, the human trafficker states he had a secret buyer. This could be the aliens researching human sorcerers, so they decide to buy them for their cause. Now here's where things get even crazier when we connect all the dots. Tengen revealed to us that she isn't truly immune to aging despite being immortal. When she failed to merge with the star plasma vessel because of Toji's interference, interference, her body kept evolving, and after 500 years, she ended up looking like this. This detail gives us a huge clue. The Sumerian aliens could be centuries, if not thousands of years old. And the design of Jabal Omar isn't random either. It looks eerily similar to Buddha and the ancient Sumerians with big ears and all that we have artifacts of in the real world. Just look at it side by side. That connection is very important because it suggests that curse energy isn't just a human phenomenon. It's a universal construct, a force that aligns every intelligent species towards evolution. Think about it. Master Tengen was someone that predated even Sukuna. She was born from 1200 years ago, and she preached Buddhism and the foundation of sorcery in the Nara period. And since the Sumerians in real life are the cradle of civilization, being some of the first intelligent societies 6,000 years ago, it creates the idea that what Tengen did in the Nara period was just a continuation of a cycle and culture that started with the very first civilization. Gege is basically telling us that sorcery didn't begin with humanity. It's a universal law that every great civilization eventually uncovers. And the Sumerians, they mastered it first. Tengen revived it through Buddhism, and Sukuna embodied its most violent form. That's why in the sequel, the Sumerians aren't just some random aliens. They represent the origin point of curse energy itself on the planet. That would explain why the alien king looks like Sukuna and his assistant resembles another Tengen. Like, I don't want to point out that Gojo called Sukuna himself an alien in their fight. Another huge discovery is that the Sumerian sorcerers possess a barrier technique that keeps their existence completely undetected. The exact same ability Tengen used to hide and stabilize Japan's Jujutsu system for over 1,000 years. Tengen herself became an evolved soul, capable of merging with a human and transforming them into something beyond a sorcerer. This evolution blurred the lines between human and cursed spirit, making her the perfect target for Kenjaku's plan to rewrite the entire world, right? She could merge with anyone now, even the whole of humanity. We even found out that Yuji can speak to all the previous vessels' consciousness in chapter 202. This, again, actually mirrors one of the oldest myths in the Sumerian lore, the Anuki, a council of gods who acted as a collective consciousness. Their decrees reshaped reality and bestowed kingship, just like we saw in chapter 2, where we saw the diplomacy specialist literally declaring that the Sukuna lookalike is the representative of their entire race, as in he's taken in the power and consciousness of their people as an elective superpower. But remember, death has always been the true catalyst for evolution in Jujutsu Kaisen. The culling game was designed to force humanity into this process, because by pushing sorcerers to the brink of it, they optimized their curse energy and achieve a breakthrough. Kenjaku wanted Mahito to face Yuji for this very reason, so Mahito could evolve through near-death encounters, just as he wanted for Jogo as well. We saw this actually happen when Mahito clashed with Nanami and Itadori. His first true taste of death awakened his domain expansion. Gojo confirmed the same truth, admitting that it was only on the verge of death that he understood the core of curse energy. And Sukuna's era, it was just built different and on that exact principle. In chapter 161, it's revealed that during the golden age of sorcery, fighting to the death was not only common, it was celebrated. That's why every sorcerer in Sukuna's time was so absurdly powerful compared to the modern era. So the manga makes it clear, death is what humans fear the most, but evolution lingers just beyond it. So now, will humanity evolve through fear or through love? Now it's this generation's turn to prove that it doesn't have to end in destruction like Kenjaku wanted, it can end in coexistence, bringing the story full circle that Sukuna did indeed choose North and Yuji's lessons and everything that he worked for becoming a legend actually worked out. He did change Jujutsu society like Gojo wanted and fix the very system itself. Now, if you want to enjoy more peak fiction regarding Jujutsu Kaisen or any other anime we cover, like Lord of Mysteries, a lot of you are confused not knowing a single thing about what's going on in Lord of Mysteries. Well, we've got you covered explaining the entire story. Click on this video on your screen right now.